Here's the fun. Change the way you clean.
First open frame of this game. This is our first of 14 stops in as many cities.
David Ozio just playing a medium hook. He's going to start in this area in the approach. His target line is right around the second arrow. He'll be here with his feet, trying to play the big hook, looking for his first strike. Ball just did not feel very well in his hand. Last year, he complained a few times about perspiration or moisture on his hands, Chris, and I think he just started losing the ball in the downswing and very wisely stopped.
No luck at all.
Well, this is the first tournament in a long time we didn't have a perfect game during the week, and one of the reasons was the corner pins that were tough to carry. You could rip the 5 and it goes behind the 7. You'd see the 6 go over the top of the 10. The pocket was easy to get to, but maintaining carry was very difficult.
So we're nearing midpoint of our very first game here at Cal Bowl in Lakewood, California, and we'll return in a moment. You know, not too far from Cal Bowl is Cal State University at Long Beach. Next to this athletic field on campus, a $22 million pyramid is under construction. The unique 18-story physical education athletic event center will open in November.
Most trackers can follow the trail only as long as the weather holds up. Unless it's a tracker spurred on with genuine AC spark plugs. AC plugs fire like lightning for performance so smooth, even the thunderclaps. And that'll keep your engine on the trail to a long life.
Call 1-800-AC Delco. It's like buying time.
So better track down some AC spark plugs.
You only get 15 minutes of fame.
Unless you take someone else's. 11 strikes down. 10 pins up. 1 ball to go.
Believe me, a standing room only crowd here at Cal Bowl. This is our second year that we've come to this location, and great bowling area in Southern California. From Jackson, New Jersey, Parker Bohn, who leads by 14 pins, is spare up shooting in the 4th frame. 3-6-9.
Well, it's hard to say which Parker Bohn III is going to show up today as he slides by, leaving the 3-6-9. When Parker was hot, as you see him releasing the ball with that real good wrist action and not getting it quite to flip in the back end. When he was hot this week, he was carrying all the light hits and shot a lot of big games. That's how he got there. 267 the last game last night to get to the 5th position. However, he needs to get that ball to hook.
If Parker could win today, $45,000, he would become the 14th professional bowler to earn over $1 million in a career. Last year, he had 2 seconds, 2 thirds, and a 4th, and earned $127,000.
Parker, solid left-hander, will start in this area, slide in this area. His target's going to be very similar to Ozio's. It's going to be just like this, right around the second arrow.
Bewildering 8.
You know, Chris, after a layoff of about 5 or 6 weeks, these players are in shape, but they're not used to the television pressure right out of the go. And I see both experienced players out here coming up on the shot, as you saw Parker there, getting left and right at target. They need to settle down, extend the target, and maintain their concentration. There's not been a real high-scoring environment yet. It will yield some good scores if you throw it well.
Right. The winner will meet David Arnold, then Bob Learn Jr., and the tournament leader here in California is Jess Stayrook, native of San Diego.
Tough go for Ozio there with his best shot of the match so far. actually pays a penalty with a 4-9 split. Needs to get the ball just to the left of the 4-pin, have that 4-pin slide right over into the 9. If he converts, he would only trail by 8 pins.
This being our first tournament of the year, we point out what they did last year. David had 18 cashes in 22 tournaments. He had 1 second, 1 third, 1 fourth, and 3 fifths.
Ozio needs to draw his experience. He only trails by 23, but he has failed to strike so far in the match.
Oh, the bass fisherman. I didn't see a smile on his face. His body language was that he was pleased. However, there he is.
Making a little adjustment on the approach. He's going to try to give the ball more room on this right-hand lane.
Strike coming in the 6th frame of our first game. Last one was in Phoenix in 1993.
Parker with the full grip. Fingers in down to the first knuckle. Tucks that pinky to get a tighter grip. Has great wrist action. That's the key to his game. A good wrist. Well, Parker adjusting for that crossover he had in the 5th frame, sends it very wide and ends up leaving a PBA-type washout, the 1, 3, 4, 6, 7. So he needs to get the ball. In my opinion, the best chance is to get it to the right of the head pin and drive the head into the 4-7.
Oh, it's just a pity you can't punt in bowling. Game gets closer now, nearing the end of it, and we'll be back soon. You know, the rains have subsided just long enough yesterday for PBA champion Norton Duke and his wife Karen to take a stroll through Long Beach's downtown marketplace.
Years ago, our family doctor recommended Tylenol, and it's been our family's pain reliever ever since. Nowadays, with all the new products and their claims, just to be on the safe side, I checked back with our doctor. It's good to know he still recommends Tylenol as his first choice for safe and effective pain relief. I trusted Tylenol then, and I trust it now.
Tylenol, the pain reliever doctors recommend and hospitals use most.
Mr. Trey, we'll never get to the Super Bowl.
No kidding, mister. We can make it 30 miles on ease.
Sure can go for a 95-cent Big Mac.
I hear you, man.
It'll all be patties, special
That's
sauce,
enough, mister, making drool. Come on, you're killing me, man.
Break in 95 at a time, so hurry.
Talking about McDonald's is not going to get us to this exit any quicker. Ball that Big Mac.
We're under a buck chaser.
Christy Yamaguchi, Katerina Witt, and Midori Ito compete in the Fresh Look World Challenge of Champions. It's the season premiere of ABC's Wide World of Sports next Saturday.
Beauty of skating to the competitive sport of bowling. And David Ozio, who was trailing by 23 now, has an opportunity with this shot, should he strike, to double, to take a 3-pin lead, Bo.
He would like to take that lead, obviously, but he's really struggled on this lane. Wow. Disappointment over David Ozio's face and body. In the 5th frame, he threw a pretty good shot, left a 4-9 split, actually paid a penalty for a good shot. Now he has a chance to take the lead. Now watch the 2nd pin on the right-hand part of your screen. That's why the scoring is difficult. See that 6 go fly around the 10?
Okay, our guest commentator on the approaches from Michigan, John Mazza. John?
Thank you, Chris Schenkel. With me, Dave Arnold, probably the calmest guy I know, certainly the calmest guy on tour. Dave, how does 45,000 sound to you?
Well, I think that would raise my heartbeat quite a bit. I'm just looking forward to going out and bowling and doing the best I can.
Okay, his heart's going to be pumping, and we're excited. We're looking for some strikes. Back to you guys.
Okay. Well, there's a strike in the 8th frame for David Ozio as Parker Bohn gets up. John Mazza of Michigan, and when we do the U.S. Open this year, it'll be in the Joe Louis Arena, the finals, downtown, one of 4 arena setups that we'll have this year in our 14 tournaments.
You've been there before, huh, Chris?
Well, done a couple of heavyweight championship fights there, a little figure skating.
Now bowling.
Mm-hmm. 8th frame strike for Parker Bohn.
Parker Bohn ranked 14th in the world. His opponent, David Ozio, ranked 9th. 2 of the top premier players we have on tour with a lot of experience, both 10 titles. Parker gets a good break as he trips out to 4-6 from behind, gets himself in a position where he can open up a 17-pin lead in the pivotal 9th frame. Low-scoring match. Obviously, the winner goes on to match number 2. Big shot. Does not have a clue on the left-hand lane. Ozio seems to have found the right mark. What actually has happened to Parker Bohn is he's only made one type of adjustment. That's with his feet. He needs to make a speed control adjustment to make the ball hook back. To stay ahead in this match, he needs to get that ball over near the 2, have the ball deflect into the 7. He will maintain his 7-pin lead through 9 frames.
Beautiful shot. Beautiful shot. You know, tonight, a Disney classic on the ABC family movie. Now, you loved Swiss Family Robinson growing up, didn't you? Now, you can share it with your family. Then, an all-new commish. All tonight on ABC.
For Ozio, the 2nd time in the match, he's been up on this right-hand lane with a chance to take the lead. 7th frame left a solid 10. Let's see what happens here in the 9th.
Strike. David, working man on the road, and so is his wife Lisa, traveling mom, traveling their 2 daughters, Heather 10 and Haley 6, as they model children's clothes all over the Southwest.
Beautiful family, beautiful shot for Ozio there. He's put himself in a position where he can lock out Parker Bohn in our opening match this season. What he needs is 1 strike and 9 pins to shut out Bohn. Anything less, the match is up for grabs. The last 5 shots by Ozio are as good as you can roll. They all didn't pay dividends with strikes, but right here at the end, he's putting out his best shot. He's down to where he has a position of 9 to win.
Professionals, though, exhibit this so often.
Well, Ozio is really the epitome of the top pros out here. He has all the experience, and really he threw his Sunday ball right there in the 11th shot, or the 2nd ball in the 10th. Got a little more loft, a little more lift, and he's locked up the first match.
You know, Bo, when you get performances like this, you forget how much you've missed doing bowling on television. You're like, all right. This ABC Sports presentation of the Professional Bowlers Tour will continue after this message and a word from our ABC station.
Sports' biggest show, January 29th on ABC.
So what do you think?
Well, I think you actually need a trim.
No, I mean the cereal.
Oh, not very attractive. It's a good color job, but the style is nowhere. You want me to try it?
Yeah.
I take it back. It's good, and it's crisp. You know, sometimes they add so much stuff you don't know what you're eating. But this is just...
Kellogg's cornflakes.
Ha! No.
Yep.
Is that the truth?
Yeah.
Well, then this is the truth. You should know.
Kellogg's cornflakes. Taste them again for the first time.
Remember,
taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. Make it a Bud Light.
You're the defending ladies pool champion?
Yes, I am.
Distinctive, comfortable clothing fits today's active and demanding lifestyle. Add fashion, quality, and flair, and you've got PBA Tour Apparel. PBA Tour Apparel, made in America, is clearly the choice of champions, like PBA Player of the Year, Norm Duke. Activewear with American-made quality and style and recognizable value. Call 1-800-521-5212 to place your order for PBA Tour Apparel or your free catalog. PBA Tour Apparel by King Louis, the striking difference.
Saturday, when Tony loses a friend. This driver was a pro.
You're saying he might have been murdered?
His investigation reveals a shocking side of the victim's life.
I don't believe you.
I know this is a nightmare. You have to call your lawyer. An all-new commish, Saturday on ABC.
Casino Ball Hollywood, take one.
Hooray for Hollywood.
And hooray for the Casino Ball.
It's the Baltimore Museum of Art's premier party of the year and the most glamorous evening in town.
It's an evening of food, fun, and gaming, not to mention fabulous prizes and special surprises. And the theme of this year's Casino Ball is Hollywood.
So dress is black tie or come dressed as your favorite star from the silver screen.
Who I go as. Mark your calendar for Saturday, January 28th.
And get your tickets right away for the Casino Ball at the BMA. Call 235-0100 for details.
Swiss Miss hot cocoa drinkers are trying hot, rich chocolate Ovaltine.
Never was made with Ovaltine. I was just surprised it was Ovaltine. Rich, it has a nice chocolate flavor. It's good.
Hot, rich chocolate Ovaltine is made with milk. It tastes creamy and is more nutritious than hot cocoa.
So it has that milk consistency as opposed to a watery consistency. I would select the Ovaltine over the Swiss Miss.
Hot, rich chocolate Ovaltine. Compare it to your hot cocoa and taste the difference.
How Maryland keeps the dream alive on To the Point, Sunday at 1 on News Channel 2.
ABC Sports coverage of the Professional Bowlers Tour. Brought to you by Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. Kellogg's, with good taste, nutrition, and value. The best to you each morning from Kellogg's. And AC Delco Automotive Parts. AC Delco, it's like buying time.
Our first game, Cal Bowl in California. David Ozio coming from behind and beating Parker Bohn III 200 to 176. 6 strikes for David Ozio. Nelson Burton and I last year watched Norman Duke of Texas with 5 victories become the player of the year. And yesterday it was a big day for him, though, because he was honored by this man, Bob Fagan. Norm was the defending champion of this event today, and he's the Independent Order of Foresters PVA Player of the Year for 1994. And he also, in addition to the Waterford Crystal, a $10,000 check.
Well, Duke had a great year, and it started all right here.
Let's go down to our pal John Mazza again.
Thank you, Chris Schenkel. Parker, looked like it was easier to get Laker tickets than it was to find that left lane today. What happened?
I really felt like I was playing basketball. That left lane, it got real tricky on me. It started to hook early, and needless to say, I tried to play defense, just keep it clean and figure out a way to get a double, and that would have won the match, but I couldn't do it.
Well, you still look good, buddy. That's all that counts.
Oh, thanks, John.
We'll be back. See you. Pick it up, guys.
Okay. And we pick it up with tall, lanky Dave Arnold on the left from Gilbert, Arizona. One-time champion, 15th television appearance, and he can get some of the butterflies out and watch David Ozio, who shot a 200 to eliminate Parker Bohn.
That 200 score is really not representative of how well Ozio bowled. He nailed the pocket the last 9 frames. He could be very tough in this match. Same way you started off the first match, Chris. High, leaving a 3-6 combination. He converted it in the second frame on this particular lane in the first match. I don't see any reason why he shouldn't do it opening against Dave Arnold. Cross lane, more speed, less hook. Depend entirely on accuracy.
Beautiful delivery. So very, very smooth. So it's a spare for the first game winner, Ozio. And now Dave Arnold. David, 31 years old, 6'3", 165 pounds. He's the tournament leader's brother-in-law, Jess Stayrook. You'll see him later.
Well, David has a classic, actually a very low-maintenance type game, a 4.5-step delivery, everything textbook style. He squares up his shoulders right here, arms swing straight through, look at how the feet are driving towards the target, and post that shot. Easy to stay on your game with that style.
He's an Iron Man. He bowled in 35 tournaments last year, all but one, Bo.
Well, he cashed in 29, so, or 21 of those.
Caroline.
Well, Dave Arnold seems to be having the same trouble that Parker Bohn III has had on the left-hand lane. When he starts it wide, it kind of hangs a little bit, comes in late, they start it up, it goes high. Here he gets a good break, almost leaves the 2-10 split. Watch the 10 slide out at the last moment. Has an easy spare. He'll trail by 1 after just 2 frames.
$126,000 last year with a victory at Sayville. And now far to the left of center on the right lane, right-hander, David Ozio. Well, people often ask me if you could be coached or advised by someone other than yourself when you're competing.
Oh, out here on the tour, we're allowed to have coaches, yeah, Chris. In fact, John Jowdy often helps David Ozio, but David really is...
While they're actually competing?
I believe so.
Hand signal?
Sure he can. My
Okay.
dad, my father used to help me all the time.
Oh, and did he ever help you?
Well, David Ozio is zoned in right now.
Speaking of coaches, there's one of the best. John Jowdy, a Texan, now living in San Diego.
Here's a man who's coached by his father. His father, Max, a 200 average bowler.
We haven't talked about family relationships, of course. Nelson Burton Jr. and his father, Nelson Burton Sr., both in the ABC Halls of Fame, and we lost your pop this past year, Bo, and we regret it. We loved knowing him for all those years.
Well, thank you, Chris. He lived a wonderful life. He's a wonderful father and man.
That's right.
Right now, Dave Arnold, who is, as we talk about coaching, is a self-coach type player out here, has gone high twice, and he's left the 3-6.
Saturday, January 28th, at a special time, the Professional Bowlers Tour returns live from Las Vegas. Walter Ray Williams Jr. defends his crown when he takes on the tour's high rollers in a showdown on the Vegas Strip. That's 2 weeks from today at 1 Eastern and Pacific, noon Central, here on ABC Sports. That will be our next telecast 2 weeks from today.
I'm going to count this guy out. He's always thinking. He has a great style. He can make a lot of adjustments. Didn't pay dividends to make a good shot there. He drifts a little bit high. The left lane, and the only person who seemed to solve it so far is Ozio, who struck on it 5 times in the very first match. Once again, his opponent goes high and light, high and light. Ozio knows a little trick. He's not going to tell anybody. Tough shot here for David Arnold.
So trailing now by 27-10, Dave Arnold going against Ozio. PBA champion, PBA player of the year, Norm Duke, is a risk taker on the lanes. But how about this daredevil act? It's a mega bungee jump. Woo. Queen Mary as a backdrop.
The average Grand Prix lasts but a few hours, unless it's a Grand Prix started with a genuine Delco Freedom battery. Because the battery that cranked up every 1993 IndyCar Series winner has the power to help keep your engine in the race for a long life.
Call 1-800-AC Delco. It's like buying time.
Keep your car in the running for that extra lap with Delco batteries.
The day I said goodbye to baseball,
I promised myself minor arthritis pain wouldn't hold me back. And hey, I gotta use this shoulder. So I use Ultra Strength Bengay with 3 pain relievers. They only have one. Ultra Strength Bengay. Nothing stronger.
Shake it, no dandruff. You've got Selsun Power. Brush it, no flakes. You've got Selsun Power with Selsun Blue. Doctors recommend it #1 over all leading brands. Dandruff problem? No way. You've got Selsun Power.
The Duke Blue Devils host ACC rival Virginia. Arkansas invades Auburn. Or other regional action on Pizza Hut College Basketball next on ABC.
Back again at Cal Bowl, near Long Beach, California, in Lakewood. David Ozio leading by 27. He won the first game over Parker Bohn III, 200 to 176. His opponent now is Dave Arnold.
Ozio a little wide here in the 4th frame, leads the soft 10. Smooth style out around the 2nd arrow. Out precariously close to the edge, but doesn't quite get to finish the 6. Doesn't take out the 10. Easy spare.
Okay, Bob Learn is with John Mazza.
Thank you, Chris. Bob, would you mind buying me dinner with that $45,000 little steak?
Well, John, I've seen you eat, but, whatever you want if I win. Besides, I don't want you to break a perfect record and buy me.
Oh, no, here we go, yeah. How about you other time? All right, back to you guys.
Hundreds begin each tournament. And, Bo, the reason I've enjoyed being around all of you for these 34 years is that you have such a great camaraderie among each other. You compete like crazy, but you're still very good friends.
Tough on the lanes, and they are gentlemen off the lanes. And Ozio having a little trouble on the left-hand lane on the approach, although he's struck on it almost every shot.
The highest hit strike I've ever seen. Beautiful.
Trips the 4 out, and let's see if Arnold can take a cue from David Ozio. What Ozio is doing that his opponents have not done on this left-hand lane is he is belling the ball wide, trusting it with a real soft speed. He's made a speed control adjustment instead of an angle or with his ball towards the pocket. So it looks like the way to hit this left-hand lane is move left, float it to the right, and trust it. Let's see what Arnold does here. Trails by 26, can cut the lead to 16. Will not work. That's the same shot he threw on the right-hand lane. It's set up and tripped the 4, as you said, Chris, but here it goes high. When he throws it that speed and sends it wide, it hangs. The same thing happened to Parker Bohn, and now it's happening to David Arnold.
On the right lane. With that, he leads by 36 pins. Here are the money leaders for 1994. That's a hefty total, $273,753 for Duke.
Well, Duke just about dominated, as you see some of the other top names, which I'm sure you'll see a lot of this year on the ABC telecast. In fact, he was out for about 2 months with an injured foot. So Duke will be back in. He bowled in this tournament and didn't defend his title, but got a check.
46. And did you notice John Mazza with 129,000? Wow. So David Ozio rolling on, and we will be too.
Getting bored with just plain nuts? Try Bishop's favorite tropical fruit and nut mix, a more exciting flavor combination.
Pineapple, papaya, sweet cream almond, honey roast peanuts, and whole
cashews, crunchy nuts with juicy real fruit. Fisher Favorites Tropical Fruit and Nut Mix. Just one of the Fisher favorites.
It's Fisher flavor, or it's just plain nuts.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran tastes so good, people forget it's nutritious. Why do you eat it?
Nutrition.
Good.
I'm a health nut.
Wheat bran. I love it.
Wait a minute, is this true? 10% more raisins free?
Wow, more raisins?
We're talking about nutrition.
Free raisins? Ooh la la.
That's not important.
Yes, it is. Now Kellogg's Raisin Bran has 10% more raisins, absolutely free.
Forget what it says behind my hand.
10% more raisins.
Free!
Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, Lee Trevino, and Raymond Floyd. Golf doesn't get any better than this. The Senior Skins Game begins January 28th on ABC.
Okay. Dave Arnold doubling has cut Ozio's lead to 36. Ozio up and can regain the 10 with triple. He has working for him, shooting in the 8th frame.
Well, David Ozio, Chris, in my opinion, in the last 2 decades has been the best practicer on the tour. He was always a good player in the 70s, and he just kept practicing, making himself better and better. In fact, one week he told me he practiced 250 games, and it's showing right now. He has the experience. He's at the top of his game, age 40 years old, and right now he has a chance to slam the door on Dave Arnold, 9th frame, second match.
Really grooving. We talked about David's practicing, getting the award this week. The pinfall you hear is that of our tournament leader, Jess Stayrook. He has really been rolling the balls in practice to the right. We'll see him another game from now. And that's his brother-in-law, married to Carolyn, Jess married to Kathy. Next Saturday on ABC Sports, it's the season's premiere of ABC's Wide World of Sports. Figure skating's finest take the ice as Olympic medalists Katarina Witt, Christy Yamaguchi, and Midori Ito meet in the ladies' competition of the Fresh Look World Challenge of Champions. That's next Saturday at 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific, here on ABC Sports.
Dave Arnold, possible 223 in the second game, will not be enough against Ozio. However, if Bob Warren Jr., who will bowl in this semifinal match, has been watching Dave Arnold, Dave made the adjustment just 1 frame late on that left-hand lane where he moved left with his feet, threw the ball wide, much like Ozio's doing, and has put together 4 straight strikes at the end of the match. It's going to be a respectable score, but Ozio's red hot. Ozio a possible 269.
David Arnold. He has been voted by his peers as the most underrated professional, and it's obvious that he's going to win a lot more than that single title that he won in Sayville last year when he beat Walter Ray Williams 269 to 258. Butch Soper, our scorekeeper again today.
What a great finish by Arnold. Ozio in the driver's seat, however, just has to stay in the building, and he will go in the semifinal match against Bob Warren Jr., the most prolific 300 bowler we have out here on the Professional Bowlers Tour.
Nothing but strikes in the closing moments of the second match of our live telecast from Cal Bowl.
Well, Ozio is proving what I've always said out here, probably the biggest difference between the very successful players on the PBA Tour and the players that just have average success is their ability to adjust. Ozio has made the adjustment, and he's staying locked in a big game. The last 20 shots, Ozio's been out of the pocket just one time. The first frame on the left-hand lane, he drifted high, the 3-6-10. Put together a fine 260 game this time. He is going to be tough to derail.
7 in a row. Home at the point. 268 for Ozio, 223 for Arnold. This week's Choice Hotels Tip of the Week features Dave Davis, who has a new style.
ABC Sports presents a winning never gets old bowling tip. Brought to you by Quality, Comfort, Clarion, and Sleep Hotels.
With me is 18-time PBA champion with 4 major titles, and now on the senior tour, Dave Davis. Dave, what have you done over the years to maintain that tremendously powerful backswing?
Although 20 years ago, when we were a lot thinner, I did a lot of things differently. Used to hold the ball much lower, went down with the swing on the push away, went down toward the floor, pulled it into the backswing, kept the body up, and long knee bend in through the shot, long extension out onto the lane. 20 years later, when the muscles aren't quite as flexible as they were, hold the ball a little bit higher, switch from 4 steps to 5 steps, still the long sweeping swing, but more out. Now long, down through, great knee bend, and out onto the lane once again.
Real good, Dave. Let's look at that again. What Dave has done to enhance the strong parts of his game, even as he's gotten older. First, he holds the ball up higher in the setup position. Dave has switched from 4 steps to 5 steps. The combination of these two has allowed him to maintain the exact same arm swing he had in his younger days. And finally, he hits that foul line nice and strong, so Dave, you're still a winner. And all of us know that winning never gets old.
Look for future ABC Sports winning never gets old bowling tips. Brought to you by Quality, Comfort, Clarion, and Sleep Hotels.
There are gut balls and gutter balls. And sometimes the trophy falls. But no matter what, you'll love the bowlers who have it all on ABC Sports Home Video, Bowling the Perfect Game. Call 1-800-4ABC-VCR to order bowling's colorful history. Narrated by Chris Schenkel and Nelson Burton Jr. This collector's home video can be yours to enjoy for only $14.98 plus $3.95 shipping. That's 1-800-4ABC-VCR.
You know, winning never gets old, and neither does saving money. If you're 50 or over, just call 1-800-4CHOICE to reserve a room in any Quality, Comfort, Clarion, or Sleep Hotel. And you can save 30% off the price of your room. That number again, 1-800-4CHOICE. Perfect.
Travelers 50 and over save 30% at Quality, Comfort, Clarion, and Sleep Hotel.
Back again, Ozio with 9 strikes, defeating Dave Arnold 268 to 223, Bo.
Exciting second match, Chris. Ozio's really zeroed in. Bob Lauren Jr. is going to have his hands full. As we look at some of the other players, the size of the field, 165. Solid averages, right around 214 to make the top 24. Mike Miller, the power player. Robert Smith, an amateur, gave up his amateur status by taking that $5,750. Hoskins, former Rookie of the Year. Ballard Jr., they say he's going to have a big season this year. He looks strong. Jimmy Johnson, his daddy's got to be proud of him. National champion Dave Traver. Mazar, guest analyst. George Branham III, former Tournament Champions winner. The Big D, D'Entremont. Steel Smith says his shoulder's ready. Bobby Knipple, the veteran. Mark Bowers round out the top 24. And some exciting tournaments coming up, Chris. Next week we're off for via ESPN from Reno, and then the PBA on ABC Sports returns to Las Vegas at a special time, 1 Eastern. And then from there we go on down to Dallas. Chris, we're ready for the semifinal match.
We are, and David Ozio now moves into his 3rd match of the afternoon. A Texas versus a Pennsylvanian. Bob Learn Jr., home of the Splitfire Championship, one of the arena final events. Ozio. 16 total strikes now for David Ozio. Woo! Oh,
Ozio can smell it. He gets the little scout shot here. Watch the head pin go to the left sideboard. And some pin action we normally haven't seen in this bowling center. And that's the reason I think we haven't had a 300. Ozio gets the break in the opening frame. Here comes Learn. Let's see what he can do. Power player.
A lot of experience. 2 PBA championships. 16 regional titles. Eastern titles.
Learn has what I call kind of a loosey-goosey style and one of the most devastating strike balls. If he can get it cranked up, and that's the reason he has so many 300 games, that he hardly loses a shot. He can carry him high, he can carry him light, and he's not afraid to send it out there and make those pins dance.
Disappointed with the results of that shot, leaving the 10-pin, the man that was in the Guinness Book of Records with 48 perfect games, but Mike Whalen has 49 now.
An amateur.
That, yeah.
Well, it's an amateur, so Chris, not to put down the amateurs. A lot more difficult to bowl 300 on the PBA Tour lane conditions, on a little more difficult condition, in only one game on a pair.
5'6", 175 pounds, 32 years old. He and his wife Stacy, parents of Brandon and Brittany.
David Ozio capsulized his personality, modest in life, confident on the lanes, and he's got it cooking right now.
Well, here's some good news. After more than a decade, our telecast is being seen in the Roanoke, Lynchburg, Virginia area. Television columnist Joe Bugacek told me that Channel 13 WSET-TV in Lynchburg is carrying this AC Delco Classic. So to you, WSET, you have good programming taste. Thank you for rejoining us.
And welcome aboard. Ozio perfect through 2. Semifinal game.
Three in a row. Third game for Ozio.
And I think Ozio feels that he can't let Bob Learn get a running start at him. Learn is a much, much more aggressive player, can shoot the big numbers. He'd like to get out to a big lead. However, I'm sure Robert has something to say about it. Third frame.
Okay.
A couple of things to watch with Bob. Obviously, he holds the ball out there to keep it in sync. He really has his wrist cupped, and he drives through. Watch his head pull and snap through at the line. Boom, he pulls up. Tremendous wrist action, and he doesn't throw any weak shots down there. There's a few players that are power players that begin to aim every once in a while, not Learn. He cuts it loose. When it's around the hole, it usually pays dividends.
He cranked that one, though. Match of the afternoon. David Ozio has been in all 3 games. Pondering now. We're in Lakewood near Long Beach. And Long Beach recently completed a $111 million expansion project. The result? The Long Beach Convention and Entertainment Center, which has nearly tripled its exhibit space. Long Beach beginning to dry up. Workmen doing a super job after all the rain.
If you settle for a remanufactured engine without a brand name, be sure you've got a pair of name brand shoes. AC Delco Engines, the national brand name with the nationwide warranty. Call for a location near you. Of course, if you come in on foot, we'll understand.
I'm a 35-year-old father, and I love my kids. Cereal.
Brave adults express their feelings about life and their love for Kellogg's Frosted Flakes.
Anxieties, embarrassment, guilt. As far as I'm concerned, it's all part of a complete breakfast.
Those crunchy flakes, that delicious frosting. Isn't it time you put it all out on the table?
I know, it's embarrassing, even a little childish. And that's just the box.
There's no denying it. Frosted Flakes have a taste adults have grown to love. They're great. Disney presents one of its greatest adventures.
You loved it growing up. Now share it with your kids. A Disney treasure, the ABC Family Movie Swiss Family Robinson, Saturday.
Again from Akron, Commissioner of the PBA, Mike Connor, and his wife, Patty. Another season.
David Ozio, semifinal game, has defeated 2 opponents. Dave Arnold, Parker Bohn III. He is now perfect through 3. Leads by 10. Can make it 20.
6-10 on the right lane.
David Ozio, just a tremendous stylist, and he had one little slump in 1992, and that's when he was kind of turning his hips out of the shot, and he did it right there. He turns his right hip too far, pulls the ball back across his body, and it drifts high.
Though I mentioned increased prize money this year in arena finals. Also, we return to Baltimore. Tom Gatewood's home. We do that on March 4th, and we also go back to Florida to Don Carter Lane, Sunrise. Chance to see Frank Esposito again.
Our good friends down there.
Yeah.
Ozio, 8-pin lead.
Kevin Shippey, now the PBA coordinator here on the set.
Ozio started bowling as a junior bowler at age 16. Told me he averaged 142. Right now, Bob Warren Jr. up in the 5th frame could put David Ozio behind in a match for the first time since the very first game, 7th frame. Picked up the wrong ball, changed balls, full grip, cups it on his wrist, doesn't hold it with his left hand, feels like his swing is straighter that way, can make a strike here, he'll take the lead.
3-6-10, a slap on the back of the leg, the man who won at Richmond Heights and also in Baltimore.
As you watch Bob Warren Jr. come through this shot, he's a little bit out of time and doesn't get the ball speed. It looks good, it's in the right trajectory, however, without the speed, it doesn't set up at the pocket, drifts high, 3-6-10.
Well, let's go to John Mazza.
Thank you, Chris. We're here, ladies and gentlemen, with the most easygoing man in the world, Jesse Revs. Jesse, how do you feel today?
I feel great. I'm ready to put on a good show today.
I know he's pretty loose. It's all 45,000 is a lot for grabs. You think you can keep your composure yet still give him a good show?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the whole thing. A good way to start off 95. I'm nice and loose. I'm ready for a good day.
Okay, back to you guys.
Okay, and this is Bob Learn, who left a pesky 10-pin on the left lane.
Same type of shot that Ozio had in the 5th frame, solid 10. You see him going way to the extreme left to shoot this and just throws a rocket across. He's actually a very good spare shooter for a power player. Ooh. And just a quick lesson to follow that technique up. He does not cup his wrist when he throws that type of shot and follows through directly down the target line. Ozio leading by 11, 6th frame.
Incredible today after opening with a 3-bagger, a pair of spares, and now another strike. We welcome back ace cameraman today, Frank Melchiori, who injured himself on Monday Night Football 3.5 months ago. It took that long to recover. He's a fast healer, and he's down here on our camera once again, due today, and then he'll be headed for the Super Bowl. Frank, we're happy you're back.
That was his most aggressive shot of the day right there. Rips the 5, tilts out the 7. Watch this pin action. This is when you have the maximum power on the ball. The ball hit the 1-3, drive the 5, and he just has enough to kick it in the 7. Opens up a 21-pin lead.
This is our semifinal game. We're in California. And we must tell you, as you see this shot, this is not Venice. This gondola ride can be had in Naples, Long Beach, California, not far from Cal Bowl here in Lakewood.
Your doctor said, what? Listen, if you're a woman and you get heartburn, should you take these, which have aluminum and magnesium, or should you take Tums Ultra with calcium?
A dose of Mylanta regular strength has this much neutralizing power. Regular Maalox, this much. But Tums Ultra has more neutralizing power.
And gives you calcium. Something your body needs anyway. If you're not sure, ask your doctor.
Ultra.
Now, an oil made just for your hard-working engine. 4x4 from Quaker State. Off-roading, extreme temperature, towing and hauling. They all make your light truck or 4x4 work extra hard and could shorten its life. Why settle for a conventional car oil? Get 4x4 from Quaker State. The intelligent oil for hard-working engines. Now, get up to a $1.89 mail-in rebate on a 6-pack case of 4x4. So you buy 5 quarts and get 1 free.
The Duke Blue Devils host ACC rival Virginia. Arkansas invades Auburn. Or other regional action on Pizza Hut College basketball next on ABC.
Our return to professional bowling for the year 1995 is at Cal Bowl in Lakewood, California. From Erie, Pennsylvania, in our semifinal game, Bob Learn Jr. is trailing by 21. He has a spur up shooting the 7th frame, going against David Ozio. Very useful.
Well, when Bob Learn catches it all at the point of release, he knows that he just starts walking. That time there, the ball was halfway down the lane. He started walking from lane 34 to 33. And what has been a very entertaining match so far, Learn can cut the lead of Ozio's down to 11 pins, 8th frame.
David Ozio's lead to 11. Ozio has a double working, however.
See the two different styles of these players. David Ozio at 5 feet 11 inches against Bob Learn at 5'6". You have to have a good knee bend when you're as tall as Ozio to stay balanced over the shot and keep your leverage. If you're a little bit shorter like Learn and stocky, you can be upright. Poetry in motion, huh, partner?
It is.
I mean, that was just a portrait right there.
Ability to concentrate.
Comes from years of experience and ton of practice, but boy, oh boy, is he smooth. I don't think I've ever seen him as smooth as he is today on a very demanding lane condition. 21-pin lead, extend to 31. By no means can he shut out Bob Learn Jr. in 9th frame. I'll tell you, here at Cal Bowl, when you hit the nose, it's just like the lottery. Any numbers can stand up down there. And what he's got to do here in this situation is get the ball over here to the right of the 3-6 and drive the 3 over into the 4-7 zone and hope for some good things to happen. If he does not convert this, the match will definitely be up for grabs with 2 frames to go.
Try by David Ozio, and the lead has been cut to 3 pins. More important, Bob Learn with a double working, shooting in the 9th frame, can lead by 7. Here's his big shot.
I'll be surprised if he just doesn't tear the cover off this ball. This is his big shot. His main weapon is power.
Saturday, January 28th, at a special time, the Professional Bowlers Tour returns live from Las Vegas. That's 2 weeks from today. Walter Ray Williams Jr. defending his crown when he takes on the tour's high rollers. That's 2 weeks from today, 1 Eastern and Pacific, noon Central here on ABC Sports. Of course, that's the day of the Super Bowl on ABC Sports. as well.
Bob Warren Jr. has a chance to shut out David Ozio.
There he is, won the first 2 matches with a 200 in the first game and 268 in the second. Victor over Bohn in the first, Dave Arnold in the second, and now here comes Erie, Pennsylvania's fire plug, power hitter.
And he's going for it. All he needs is 7 pins on this ball here to shut out the Wizard. Just enough. Just enough. If he misses them all, he'll have 230. The best Ozio can do is 229. It's going to be Stayrook and Bob Warren Jr. for $45,000. Or you just go for 2 of them. Sends it wide. Got enough. He's going to have 230 if he misses. Looks like 232. Here we go.
So it's going to be $13,000 for David Ozio. Of course, we'll bring you that total final score. Here's the final score. Learn at 232. This ABC Sports presentation, Professional Bowlers Tour, will continue after this message.
Proper etiquette begins at breakfast. We pour the cereal, we select a spoon, chin up, and... very good. Now let's move along to... No, let's try that again.
The problem with a cereal that's made like popcorn, only sweeter,
Some prefer the shovel method.
is that it disappears like popcorn, only faster.
Any questions?
Kellogg's Corn Pops. It's hard to stop when it's popped.
Morning, guys.
Just when you think your diarrhea medicine is working,
Oh, boy. What's wrong?
it can let you down. But you can count on Imodium AD to stop diarrhea, often in just 1 dose, instead of dose after dose, more than 1/3 of a bottle of the pink stuff. And Imodium AD is even better than the leading prescription.
I told you we should have stopped for Imodium AD.
Imodium AD, 1 dose relief you can count on.
Sunday,
What are you doing?
I'm trying to drive you to the stove.
Morgan Freeman and Academy Award winner Jessica Tandy
Turn left. No, right.
in the Oscar-winning movie
You're my best friend.
Driving Miss Daisy, Sunday on ABC.
This year, you can take a journey back in time. Paint a masterpiece. Unearth buried treasures. Direct an orchestra. Bring something back to life. Make a new best friend. Or revisit an old one. And it will all happen on television. Presenting Home and Garden Television, HGTV. Devoted to everything you love about home.
All right, we have now come to the championship match. Stayrook and Learn. Learn eliminating David Ozio. Ozio with a great afternoon. Exciting it was, and we expect the $45,000 to the winner championship match to be just as exciting. We're excited about having talented young actor DJ on Roseanne Wednesday nights. And here's Michael Fishman. Young man, you bowled on Monday.
Yeah, I did okay.
What do you mean by okay? But as an actor, you're a 300.
Hopefully.
Let's look at a little film clip of one of your, 7 years working with Roseanne?
Yeah.
It's going to come up here in a moment. Michael is 13, and he's such a wonderful young man. He brought his dad out here today. And to see him alongside is, when he's 10 years old, he's the youngest national player ever to bowl a perfect 300 game. Scott Owsley of Fontana, California, and his report card, A+, and a lot of O's for outstanding work in the classroom. So, Bo, isn't it fun to be with young champions?
Well, yeah, and I asked Scott. Scott, you didn't have any lucky ones in that 300, did you?
Nah.
Did you get nervous?
Yeah, my ninth frame.
Ninth frame? And you just put them right in there, huh?
Yep.
You learn to bowl by watching the pros out here?
Some of them. Like Walter Ray and Mike Albee and Parker Bohn.
Wow, good players.
DJ, quick. Roseanne a neat lady?
Yeah, she's really, really nice.
Well, so are you, and so are you, Scott. Thanks for joining us today, guys. See you next year. All right, Scott Owsley and Michael Fishman, DJ on Roseanne. Now we're ready for the big championship match of our initial telecast from 1995. First of 14, Stayrook, originally from San Diego, Bob Learn of Erie, Pennsylvania.
Well, there'll be nothing left in the bag in this match. Bob Learn Jr. throws is an effective strike ball as you'd want from a right-hander, and Stayrook is the premier power player on the left side. Championship match, $45,000 at stake. Here we go. First shot.
He's ready, very concentrated player, Bob Learn Jr. We told you that Jess Stayrook really practiced a lot off to our right. Let's see if it works for him. He's a left-hander, and he has a total of 3 titles in his 13 years as a pro. One frame, all even.
Jay Stayrook is a personable man, but I call him the Rock. He's a physically strong man, a tremendously short swing, but watch this release as he drives through it. Great wrist action, plays the deep inside line, swings it out as wide as you can, and lets that serpentine hook come right back into the 1-2 pocket. The match is started with both players strikes.
Tournament leader, Jess Stayrook, bowling out of Tempe, Arizona, has won 2 of his 3 championships from the top seed. The other came from number 2 position. Bob Learn.
Could have been. Pretty good shot.
Opened with a strike. Now he'll try to mark with a spare in the second frame. Championship game. $45,000 to the winner. $23,000 to the runner-up. Frank Gaughan, Associate Advertising Manager of AC Delco, will be presenting those checks a little bit later on.
Despite a 7-inch difference in height, 5 feet 6 inches for Bob Learn Jr. and over 6 feet for Jess Stayrook, they weigh the same and are both very physically strong. Stayrook, a weightlifter. Bob Learn Jr. with those big Popeye forearms and tremendous wrist action.
All right. You just joined us. David Ozio defeated Parker Bohn 200 to 176. Moved on against Dave Arnold and won 268 to 223. And then Bob Learn defeated Ozio in the semi-final game. Thus, he's going against this man, Stayrook. 3 in a row. Look at the family.
Well, there's his coach, his dad, Max, a 200 average bowler, is the only man that's Jess has ever listened to, and his dad has done a fine job with him. His dad is a bricklayer by trade. Jess used to be a carpenter, and he's sure nailing them right now. So he's opened with 3, has a 20-pin lead, 4th frame. $45,000 at stake.
Did you ever try to lay bricks, Bo?
My father was a bricklayer. I tried it, and I'm not very proficient.
It's a work of art. That shot and bricklaying. More of this championship match in a moment.
It's not whether you win or lose. It's whether you win.
The meek may inherit the earth, but they'll never bowl a perfect game.
Boy, that McDonald's Egg McMuffin sure smells good.
95 cents, please.
Yeah, we know. 95 cents for the breakfast bargain.
Farm fresh eggs, maybe some bacon.
Look, just give me 95 cents.
No. You keep yours. We'll get our own there, Colonel Coin Collector.
Break in 95 with McDonald's 95-cent Egg McMuffin. A hot, fresh Egg McMuffin or a tempting Big Mac for just 95 cents.
You don't understand. I need 95 cents.
What does she need 95 cents for, Jerry?
She's already got Egg McMuffin. For a limited time, so hurry.
What are we, a change machine?
Christy Yamaguchi, Katerina Zitt, and Midori Ito compete in the Fresh Look World Challenge of Champions. It's the season premiere of ABC's Wide World of Sports next Saturday.
Hi to you, too. Jeremy Williams, boxer, Wide World, you've seen him? So we're out here in Tinsel Land. We get a lot of names and faces, Bo.
And joining the action as Bob Warren Jr. gets up here in the fourth frame. He's been pretty sharp so far. Strike, 10-pin strike. However, he's in arrears by 30 pins. He can cut the lead of Stayrook's down to 20.
Patience, a virtue. Hits him up like Arnie.
Well, this is truly a bowling technology strike here. This is a type of strike you could never get until about 4 or 5 years ago, until we got the new, more powerful bowling balls that'll energize the pins, and they have kept Bob Warren Jr. in the match. He can cut the lead of Stayrook's down to just 10 pins fifth frame.
All but the 4.
I like Bob Warren Jr.'s wrist action. He snapped that so hard his wrist snapped around in a circle on his follow-through. He leaves nothing in the bag, and I like that. If you're going to be a high-risk player, you want the high rewards, and he sure lets it go, even for the big bucks.
All right. It's a spare. Coming in the fifth frame. Just carefully cleaning. Doing maintenance work on that bowling ball, which matches almost, not really, his shirt. Colors of the Pacific. Jess Stayrook from San Diego. Let's go to John Mazza.
Thank you, Chris Schenkel. I'm here with third-place finisher Dave. Dave, I know you felt bad. You should have won that match. And what happened in the ninth frame?
Well, two things, combination of two. It wasn't my best shot I've ever thrown, plus the fact that I'd stayed in one spot way too long. Lane started breaking down, and I was going to have to move.
What do you like in this match?
Well, it looks like Jess was doing fine, but I would have thought Bob would have had the better pop to start with, so I don't know. Looks like Jess.
Back to you guys.
A creeper, a scout. Go.
Well, it just didn't quite kick off the right sideboard with enough impetus to pop out the 7. Stayrook has to stay focused. You have to make your spares at this level to stay in a match. You cannot afford to get lazy after coming off that string of 5 and miss the 7 pudding, because Bob Warren Jr. is lurking. I'll tell you, I like Stayrook's attitude here for the first 6 frames. Chris, always been what I maintain, that if you're the tournament leader, you go and swing for the home run every shot. You don't have time to play around. Junior is trailing by 30, and he has the power to get back in the match.
Two very animated professional bowlers here in the final match.
Watch this release of Bob Warren Jr. I like it as one of the best contemporary releases we have. Look at the wrist roll underneath. He's the center of gravity, and he lifts straight up through the shot, not around it. Excellent. A good release for the young players to copy Bob Warren Jr. The thing I like the most about it is he keeps his hand underneath the ball. A lot of young players want to go around the ball with that, what we call the fake hook. He stays right underneath it. Watch the release, watch the explosion. Boom.
One of our King of the Hills last year. Remember when he defeated Ron Williams and became the king, Bob Warren Jr.?
The junior is tough. His undoing so far in this match has just been 3 10-pins. Been in the pocket all 7 shots. However, he's trailing by 32 pins. It's not over yet.
Bowling this final match for a total of $68,000.
One of 3 men to convert the 7-10 split on national television. Jess Stayrook, John Mazza, and Mark Roth.
Strike in the 7th frame. Nelson, are you going to compete on the tour this year?
I am going to play a few tournaments, Chris. We're going to watch the action here as we get rolling in January, and then when the nice warm weather of Florida cranks up, I'll be down there for the Choice Hotels Classic.
I knew you'd have to get that suntan before you came out. Yep.
Let's see The Rock, the premier power player on the left side right now. Very short, 5-step methodical delivery. He's going to be in this area. The shot's going to go here and way out. He can take a big lead with a strike.
Can he convert this one?
He'll go for 2, and to tell you this, the game is now back on. He will just go for the 6-10 in the right-hand part of your screen. He'll maintain his lead of 20 pins, but it's not over.
Gives him 187 through 8.
It's difficult to swing for the fences on every shot. Stayrook was going for it. The first 7 were good. He paid a maximum penalty here in the 8th, and Bob Warren Jr. is now back in the match. Let's see if he can capitalize. 8th frame.
Single pin spares, he is becoming a master of them here this afternoon.
And very frustrating, Chris. With that power, you don't leave a lot of single pins. Your strike percentage is going to be up in that 70-80% range, and he's right at 50, which is not going to be enough to win this match. However, there's a couple frames left. Now, what can he do to kick out that 10-pin with his power? All he needs to do is stay under the ball a little longer, and he'll drive out the 10.
Second tip by Nelson Burton Jr. today.
Bob Warren Jr., if he strikes out, would have 226. Stayrook going at a 227 pace. Jr. can cut that lead right now. Well, it's in the hands of The Rock. If he fills spare, strike, spare, just fills frames with even count, he will win the match at 227 because the most Learn can get is 226. Let's see what happens.
You talk about sneaky.
What a terrific break at an opportune time. When you hit the nose here at Cal Bowl, you can end up with anything. He avoids the split, then a pin rolls around, kicks the 4-pin into the 2. Watch this. It's going to be the 3-pin from the right-hand part of your screen off the right side put, hits the back of the 4, trips into the 2.
That, to me, is a $22,000 shot.
Well, he has to capitalize on it right here, Chris.
Brother.
He's in a position where strike will win the match or spare strike. He must fill a full 20 here in the 10th to lock out Junior.
Drove up from San Diego, California.
Well, Bob Warren Jr. offered a a five-finger squeeze there for a victory, but it's not over yet. Stayrook needs 5 pins on this ball to lock it up. It's not over. If he gets left there, Bob Warren Jr., you still may have a chance.
The tournament leader has risen to the occasion. He has won his 4th PBA championship, and he is showing his stuff today. We'll be back.
When I got rid of my gray hair, I wanted a really natural look. So I didn't take any chances. I used the sure thing for a natural look, called Just for Men.
Simply apply Just for Men, and in 5 minutes, rinse. It's specially timed to blend away the gray. Bring back the look of your own natural color as it conditions your hair.
With 5 minute Just for Men, this natural look is a sure thing.
5 minute Just for Men, the sure thing for a natural look.
You know, I'm always teaching bowlers how to put fingers into the shot, not just the ball. But you can also use your fingers to save money. If you're 50 or over, just call 1-800-4CHOICE, and you can save 30% at choice hotels like Quality, Comfort, Clarion, and Sleep. 30%. Now that's what I call aiming for the pocket.
Travelers 50 and over save 30% at Quality, Comfort, Clarion, and Sleep Hotels.
If you settle for a remanufactured engine without a brand name, be sure you've got a pair of name brand shoes. AC Delco Engines, the national brand name with the nationwide warranty. Call for a location near you. Of course, if you come in on foot, we'll understand.
There's the story of today's winnings, ladies and gentlemen. Jess Stayrook, the tournament leader, 45 grand. Bob Learn Jr., 23. Ozio, 13, 10, and 8. What an afternoon for the native of San Diego, now bowling out of Tempe. How about a round of applause for Jess Stayrook? Hey there. Who is coaching you, Kathy or your dad?
Both. They both helped me out in the last 35 years.
I guess they have. This is number 4 PBA title. You're just beginning, aren't you?
I hope so. I hope there's a lot more to come. I'm going to keep trying to do the best I can.
How about a check for $45,000 from Frank Gahn, Associate Advertising Manager of AC Delco. And Frank, as you present it, thanks for being with us for 14 years.
Oh, it's been a great association and one of the most successful programs AC Delco's been involved in.
Well, Jay Swerdlow's looking on now. Pacific Theaters has 100 houses and 1 bowling establishment. He's going to present the trophy. Don't lift it, Jay. I don't want any accidents, you know. Present that check.
On behalf of AC Delco, I'm proud to present to you a first-place winner's check for $45,000.
Jay, it's been a great tournament for you.
Jess, on behalf of Pacific Theaters and Cal Bowl, I'd like to present you this trophy. Last year, it sent Norm Duke off to Bowler of the Year, and I hope it does the same for you.
Okay. Again, congratulations, Jess. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. 2 weeks from today, and